Hi guys, it's Sean81 here. Welcome to another speed build. This time we are doing a made to plan. So this is my Sunset Heights, and as you can see it's an unusual sort of design. It's sort of all on the diagonal. So building this out was a lot of fun. Trying to work out roughly what these plans mean as well was also a lot of fun. So I think the plans actually were in English, so that made it a little bit hard for me to work out roughly what things were as well. But I think I made like using the images that you could see, work out where the dining room things were, so it wasn't too hard. But it made it a lot of fun. A little bit different. I actually have seen this house finished, as in like the real house that these plans are made from, and let's just say my build looks something like it, but it's interesting to see what bits do look like it and what doesn't. It's certainly it was a challenge to make it look sort of anything roughly what I wanted. I didn't look at the build before I built this, so I don't have any idea as to what it actually looks like when I'm actually building this. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And obviously because most of this is on diagonal and the stairs would naturally be on the diagonal with the, as you can see in the plans, my build is not on the diagonal. Stairs you can't put on the diagonal obviously, so I had to sort of improvise and work out roughly what I could do to make that work, and you can see I change it a lot. So now we're looking at the upstairs plans as well. I've moved upstairs, and it's just, yeah, it was interesting build, and it looks like on the plans that the doorways aren't what I normally see as doorways, so it sort of confused me a bit as to where walls were stopping and where a doorway was and things like that. So yeah, it just was a challenge, but it was fun. And some of the wall I couldn't kind of work out what it meant, but that's okay. We made it up as we went, and I think I actually really like how it turned out. It's sort of different. It was fun. It's actually it turns out I'd make it into a 4-bedroom home, with 3 bathrooms. Yeah, 3 bathrooms all up. And roofing I do differently to what. So in the finished sort of thing, it's a flat roof all over. But I give it this really cool sort of curved roof on sort of the main part, which makes it interesting. Certainly looks a little different. Just trying to work out the roofing at the moment. It was fun. It's like I kind of want curved roofing through there, and then I make flat roofing for the rest of it. Sort of trying to work out roughly what I want to do, and where I wanted sort of the roofing to go. I decided to bring that curved roof all the way through then to the front. So it had a very hidden front doorway, so it's really tucked back away, so which was a lot of fun to do. And windows, with it being on the diagonal, obviously windows sort of work a little differently, so I end up using like a single tile one for most of it, but it sort of gives it almost the same width as a double when you place a double on the normal sort of rotation. Doorway, yeah, that was tricky. I ended up using a double because I had a very big space there, and I just bring it in. Yeah, it ended up working quite well, I thought. I think I did start off by making this house a little bit too big though. I think I should have perhaps made it a bit smaller, but just working with what I had with the plans, I sort of roughly worked out what it would be, but I don't know, since seeing the house I think it was a lot smaller. But yeah, it was different. It was fun. Like I said, I really enjoyed how it turned out. I love where it sits in Oasis Springs, over the cliffs, looking over sort of the rest of Oasis Springs there. It's got a nice view. Fairly private, away from everyone else, which is really cool as well. So here I'm trying to work out roughly what to do with this section, especially around the stairwell. I'm trying to work out how to make it sort of fit a little bit better, because like I said, in the plans that went straight up on the diagonal, but obviously in the Sims we can't do that, which is a nuisance. Never mind. Yeah, so then I've got issue down under the stairs as well, just trying to get it to work. Oh yeah, I had some issue with the roofing not appearing there. I just had to fix it. And adding some more windows. So I've sort of put the windows out roughly where they are on the plans, but I'd go ahead and add a few more. I just felt it was a little bit too dark, a bit too closed in on some spots. There's no windows really on the front section, so you'll see that there's, yeah, I actually do really interesting sort of water feature at the front there because of the lack of windows. Well, with the lack of windows, it gave me the opportunity to be able to do something really fun. So now I'm just looking at the elevation of it to see what I want to do. I like the way that doorway tucked away there, but it doesn't quite work inside. But I did like it was sort of tucked away. And so for the paver sort of look at the front here, I wanted to use these. I think that's like a stepping stone sort of thing. They came with Get Together, and they are in the rug section, but they're like stone. So there's a circle and then there's the rectangle piece as well. But yeah, here I'm messing with this back entryway again, trying to work out how to make it work. For some reason that wasn't making a room. So I just fix that. And then we end up with a weird looking room, and it's the usual. So I end up tracing this whole piece out just to get to form a room, which it does eventually. Then I realised I could knock out the stairs and make it look more open, knock out under the stairs to make it look more open. So I fixed that. And this piece was a pain too, so that's right, we fixed that too. In the end I do end up with a nice little landing area, which looks pretty cool. Roofing still giving me trouble. I actually divided into 3 sections, so you see I'm doing that now, just so I could get the roof to sit the way I wanted it to. Sometimes dividing your roofing into smaller pieces actually helps a lot with getting it to sit right, and yeah, a lot of trial and error. I realised there actually was no wall there in that piece for some reason. It had the window but no wall. I was like, why? So I had to go fix that. And there's this smaller piece of domed roof I'd make into 2 pieces to get the roofing to look right. Yeah. So now I'm just trying to play with these little pieces. As you can see, I don't know why, it just wouldn't clip to the right spot. And I know I could free place it, like I just did then, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to clip so I could actually place them, with enough gap and things. So, and that piece I wanted it to be like almost like a room, but not a room, so like an outdoor room. And then here I do that, and then I realise that's not going to line up anyway, so I need to move across. What a goober. And then I realise they're off centre, so yeah. And so those little rock floor pattern piece. So it makes for a nice little modern looking piece. And then just sort of moving that onto the, obviously off the grid there to get like it's curving around the path there. And I think we're going with terrain paint next. Yeah. Let's green it up. Got a nice green lawn happening. I had to paint it all in because it's all dirt otherwise. So, and then just adding some little plants down the front just for that modern garden look. which I thought looks really cool. I finally adding something to the wall. I sort of wanted to look around the neighbourhood there to see what the other houses were using. But all the other houses were very Mediterranean look, and I wanted this area up here to be more modern. So I think I still matched it in, like it's a stone sort of look, and I think I picked out roughly the same roofing tile as well. I'm trying to pick out columns here. I really have an issue with some of those columns, and the way they sit on walls just drives me nuts. I mean, I love that they can actually sit on walls, that's fantastic. But yeah. And they change colour between heights. It's like, if that's on the next level up, why is that a different colour completely? So then it looks like it doesn't match. I know it's all to do with the lighting and the way that the lighting's rendered and all that, but it's a little bit of a nuisance. But I don't know, I'm just fussy sometimes. I'll zoom around the house just having a look at it. I like how that sort of juts out over the top of the doorway there. I think that looks cool. Oh yeah, I realised I could actually put the edging on the inside around the stairwell, so I do that too. And then I added a post just to give it some support. And I try to put this post in the middle here, which I actually have to lift one up to do. But then I try and add it on the edge as well, otherwise it doesn't look right. But this, because of that room having a really weird angle in it, the post doesn't want to sit the way I want it to. So I end up getting rid of them all. It's like, yep, done. Yeah, using a darker roof there, so a bit of a darker colour, which I think looks really good with the modern sort of style I'm going with. And just doing some tiles out the back for like a little bit of a entertainment space. And yeah, just roughly using a lot of those quarter tiles because I wasn't sure how big I wanted it, so I was like, I'll just keep adding it until I get the right size. And bringing that up as well, and then I decided I wanted to fence some of it off, and then unfortunately I kept making it a room, so I kept putting the flooring, so I had to keep deleting it. And then I want to fence this side off too, but I wanted to make this like a little private courtyard there as well. So yeah, do something very similar. And then I didn't want all that grass up the side where it's not part of my sort of yard. So I basically, deleted all the grass, but I kept grass sort of in line with where the grass is on the exterior wall, sort of wall, but not on my property type thing. So where you can see that garden bed there at the edge, I wanted to keep it in line with that. And then I went and painted over most of it at the front with some rocks. I don't know why I did that. I still like it, and I'm not sure if I like it, but I think I left it like it just because it worked. So I'm adding in some ponds here. So the vines down the wall part, and then adding in ponds and things at the front, just for something different. And I love these hanging vines and things that we've got with Jungle Adventure. I think these are awesome. So much fun to work with. And the flower one, the heliconia, that's one of my favourites. We actually have heliconias growing here. But they're not a vine. That's the weird thing. It's like, my heliconias are not a vine. They're the same, like the flower is exactly the same, but I guess they kind of are. Could be. They're kind of a creeper, almost, I guess. So yeah, having them hanging, I guess, would work, but mine are not hanging. But anyway, they look cool. They're quite pretty. So yeah, just adding some water plants as well. Then I decided to put the waterfall thing in the pond as well. And I want to use it here as well, but my wall height, because it's a half wall, it's not the right height. Not quite the right height. So I just changed it to a normal full wall, and yeah, it doesn't have the edging on top, but that's okay. I mean, I actually could have gone over that with a little half wall on top. I didn't even think of that. until just then. Oh well, never mind, it's done now. If you want to fix it, you can. Feel free, go download the build and add a little half wall on top of it, and you can change it up however you want. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a gardening sort of space down the edge of where this wall is, or the fence. I moved them more forward. Guess what? I moved them more back again after I put this little fencing. That was something I found interesting. The fence I chose, it wasn't the lowest of the fences, the one where you can actually walk over it. It was the next one, sort of. And it actually wouldn't draw. It was like the other fences would draw no problem, but that one wouldn't. It wasn't appearing. I don't know why. So I actually had to stop it from being a room to get it to actually work. So you see, I broke the wall and the fence sort of thing, and then placed it back again so it wouldn't form a room. And then more terrain painting with the grass. I was trying to get that all filled in. No terrain editing on this one, just terrain paint. I decided I wanted it flat. I think a lot of my builds lately I've been going back to doing them flat just because it's a little bit easier. Not that I have a problem with the terrain tools, it's just sometimes it's easier just to do flat, because that's what we're used to in The Sims 4. I think they have been a bit late in editing the terrain. Adding the terrain editing. Hey, we're finally on the inside. Cool. So, just trying to work out roughly where rooms go. So bathroom, toilet, bathroom, you know, lounge room, kitchen, all that sort of thing. Oh, mate, is there another toilet? Oh, there is two. It's actually, that's right. There's two toilets downstairs. There's one that's only got a toilet in it, toilet and hand basin. And then there's a full bathroom downstairs. There's full bathroom upstairs plus an ensuite. So, yeah, all that fun stuff. Oh, kitchen. This kitchen gave me nightmares. I think I actually change out when you see the all the screenshots at the end. I think I changed all those counters. Or did I? Let me have a quick look here. I've got it just beside me, I can just have a quick look. Oh no, I left them the same. They're still the same blue. I end up moving a lot of things, so it's a bit of a nuisance. But once again, in my speed build, I've only done up to a certain point in the build with furnishing, and then I add the finer details in off camera, so it's not so long. Otherwise my videos would be super long, and nobody wants to see a 3-hour video of me placing every single item. That would be boring. If you want to see that, you can come to my streams and we can chat. Then it's a lot more fun. It's not nearly as boring. But yeah, I love how the kitchen turned out. Actually, it's quite a large kitchen. But I'll end up with, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool actually. I'm just looking at the screenshots. This house ends up being, I think I said 4 bedrooms, and I sort of designed it for like probably 2 teens or like a teen and maybe a young adult as the children, and then another smaller child, and most definitely, well, not most definitely, I can't gender stereotype, but definitely more feminine room than anything for the child. I like the sink in the middle of the island bench there. I thought that was different. And then the fridge off to the side. I think that's cool too. I don't like the way the light renders on the bench tops around the edge. I end up putting a lot of lights under them to help that, but it doesn't combat it completely, unfortunately. So you can get that weird shadow, unfortunately, at the edge, just because I placed on the diagonal and not on the flat. Makes placing them a little bit tricky too. It's a lot of effort to place everyone because they don't want to snap to the grid the same way. It's sort of, yeah, it's a bit awkward. Oh, I was trying to match up the colour at the top half of that wall. I wanted a full plain wall that's got the same sort of colour, but I I couldn't find it, so I just ended up using this light grey sort of colour, and I pretty much use that all the way through the entire build. So yeah, I just do my normal trick of using the same wallpaper through the build because that's how I work. Oh, these tiles. So I'm just trying to work out placing, because I don't want them obviously all through the house, I only want them in the kitchen. And just trying to work out how to do it around the stairs. I didn't want it to go right up to the stairs, I don't think that looked right. I sort of, yeah, wanted it to come back a bit. I'm trying to find flooring for the rest of the house. I ended up using the same flooring all right through the house basically in the end. But it looks good. Once you add rugs and things on top, I think it looks like 10 times better. So, lots of wood flooring, that's just the way I roll. And I wanted, my stairs didn't look very supported, so I put beams under them. But I didn't want them too close to the doorway. Actually, I now know how I can combat that from being an issue. If you actually not minimize them, you shrink them. So the way you shrink furnishings and things like that, the same way as you size up, size down items. You can do that with the columns, but it doesn't actually change the size of the column. What it does is changes the size of the footprint around the column. So you want to make it small so that your sim can then navigate around it, which is really clever actually. Something I learned from, I guess a friend, I can call him now. Fire Hero is a really great streamer if you ever catch him. And he also has got a YouTube channel as well, so go check him out because he's really awesome. So yeah, tiles, change the tiles up in the kitchen and use the same ones in the bathroom. I like big tiles, that's my sort of jam for a modern build. I like big tiles. Here I'm just sort of extending the walls a little bit, so just sort of making it like a little almost feature with the walls. And you'll see here in the way that I actually cover them, there's like certain diagonal walls that I just do in all brick, and just all the same as outside, like the stone. It just adds a bit of sort of detail to it. I think it looks really cool. And the couches, they don't stay that brown. I changed that. I don't like it in the end. It's like, no, it doesn't quite work. So I do change it up. So you can put laundry in it in this build. There's a gym as well, which is kind of fun. You'll see here, I think I switched to the gym soon. But yeah, here's where I'm shrinking the rooms a little bit. It was just too big. It was like, no, I can't do with that. So I just shrink them a bit. And I have to do the same with the roofing, obviously, because otherwise it's all out of whack. And then I have to fix all the tiling and train paint. That's okay. We get there, all done. It's much better. Yeah, that's a nicer space to work with. It was just too big. It was very, very large. I'm just centering things now, lining them up. Actually switch that TV out in the end, it doesn't stay the same. Here we are doing the brick, so just on those little sort of, yeah, feature walls basically, which I think looks really cool actually. I wanted to lighten up the wood as well, so I actually picked that one up. I really like it. I think that was a really good choice. Probably one of the ones I use the most though. And then adding the darker wood in the table and chairs, and I changed that to blue, so that's pretty cool. And I changed the spar out completely. Matches the kitchen in the end. So the same benches I used in the kitchen, I use in the bar here. So it's got a nice little wet bar, which is really cool. And you could take your drink through to the kitchen, not to the kitchen, to the dining table. I know the dining table is a fair way away from the kitchen. I mean, it's quite a distance away. But I don't mind it. I think it looks pretty cool. And like the outdoor barbecue sort of is, I think, closer to the kitchen than anything, but sort of still close to the dining room as well, and the bar. So it's alright. I think it works. And adding sort of a feature wall element to the bathroom here as well. So same very big sort of slate tiles on the wall. so it matches what's on the floor, but not all the walls are covered in it, so just a couple of walls. It just adds a little feature to it. And try to match the shower to the right sort of look. Yeah, trying to pick a sink that worked. I picked that one, and then I sort of played with this piece and added it underneath. No, this doesn't not function like this. It looks great. I think it looks awesome. It doesn't function though, and I realised that when I start playtesting. So I do change it. You'll see that in the screenshots. I was so happy though when I'd done it. I was like, that's awesome, yay! And I didn't think to playtest it at the time, so it stayed like that for a while. And then I had to go back and fix it when I actually did playtest it. So, but it still looks cool. It's just not the full effect of what I got. So here I'm changing that to TV, just to a smaller one, because that's not the main living sort of space, that one. Or it's, I guess it kind of is like the main living space, but that's not where you'd watch new movies. So there's like a theatre room as well. And this is the gym. So that weird sort of triangular piece room that I just sat there and went, I have no idea what to do with this piece. What am I going to do? I do decide to make it into a gym, which I think works quite well because you've got the bathroom there, or a bathroom. You've got the toilet basically off that room. Plus you've got the laundry as well there, right there. So I wasn't happy with those mirrors. They weren't, because they were on the diagonal, they weren't working the same way. Like, you could still see the lines between them, whereas normally if you overlap the mirrors you don't get those lines. So I add these ones instead, which I think work. I think they look really cool, just in the black and the gold. It's cool. It's actually, it makes that room look a lot bigger. And I was really disappointed to find out that the stereos will not snap to the top of any of these sideboards. It makes no sense to me. Why wouldn't you have your stereo on top of a sideboard? But you know, I tried quite a few, but then I sort of jumped to the bedside tables, and it works on those. But I would like it on the sideboard. It makes sense, but there's no snapping spots for it, unfortunately. So, and it doesn't raise up enough to sort of the right height to fit on there. And in this stage I didn't have the LMPS shelf, which, if you haven't heard of that, it's a little red shelf that has a gazillion and one snapping points, in multiple different size snapping points as well, that you can use, and you can raise it up and down to whatever height you want, snap your item to it, and then with magic of move objects obviously, you can then move things to exactly the right height, and it's been so much fun, and my builds are looking awesome because of it. Like, I can just do so many different things with it. It's so cool. As you can see, I still haven't worked out that my sink doesn't work. That's okay. It is fully playtested, this build, in the end, and you can use it. Yeah, fully playtested, so everything works, which is good. Which is the way you want it when you download. And moving into the master bedroom, so I'm just grabbing basics, the beds, wardrobes and things, painting out the walls in the colours that I want. I mostly choose to do feature walls in this build, so picking a colour for one wall basically. Nothing too drastic, but painting out the whole room was a bit much, I thought. So yeah, that's when I decided I wasn't going to use carpet. I was just going to go floorboards all the way through the house, and just adding bedside tables. Trying to work out whether I wanted to, what sort of cupboard I want to use as well was a bit tricky. Trying a heap of different swatches to work out what I want. There's a lot that I actually hadn't looked at as well before, so yeah. So you'll see me, I pick some out and go and pop them in other rooms, just because I spot them and I'm like, that would work for this person and this person. Now, this cupboard is a frustrating thing. It is not square, and it looks like it should be square, but you try and place two beside each other and you will then find out they are not square. Anything that you line up beside it, it just shows that it sits in a little bit at the bottom, and it's like, what? ever so slightly off, but as soon as you place something beside you, that's when you realise it's like, oh, it looks terrible. So, I don't know whether it was meant to be square. I would think so, because it's only just off. I mean, it was trying to be not, like, deliberately not square. It would be a little bit more detailed in that. I would feel anyway. So, just one of those weird things I noticed, and it's like, that isn't square. So this is like a teen boy or maybe a young adult male, or even female. Doesn't have to be necessarily a male's room just because it's in blues and things, but yeah, that's sort of, I designed it around it like a teen boy room, basically. What I felt would be the sort of things that they would want in their room. So we have the computer desk, and we have the TV in the corner over here with a games machine. So I actually free-placed the TV in the end, because of the way I decided to have it, so it's not actually touching anything, it's sort of free floating there. And I do add chairs so that you can actually sit and use it. I learnt that one the hard way one time. I was actually playing and I hadn't put chairs down, and I was like, they can't sit on the bed to play? I was like, I swear they could, but no, apparently they can't, and it was a bit frustrating. So I was like, okay, I'll learn my lesson. There's small chairs now that they can sit at. I swear they used to be able to play games and things from the bed, but I think that may have been Sims 3. I think that Sims 3 is where they could watch TV and things from bed. They don't seem to be able to do that now, which is a shame, because that was a really cool idea. And rugs. They are awesome yet frustrating all at the same time, because we have heaps, there's too much choice, but then because we have heaps, there's also not enough choice, because not everything matches, or you can't get it the right size that you need, and even though you can size up and size down now, you can't always get things to work. So yeah, it's a pain, but it's okay. And that is my little office. I just sort of placed a desk in there with a computer and a bookshelf. That changes completely in the end, which is cool though. And just placing some of the furniture in the little girl's room, and then this room is more of your young adults, young adult female room, or teen girl room. Well, not even, I don't know, more, like definitely late teen, but it is a teen girl room, I would say. Just the way I designed it. Or even, it could even be a guest room, I guess. But I like to design around sort of characters in my head, so with the teen boy room, I sort of went into computers and computer gaming and things like that. With this room, I go very Asian inspired. No particular one, I wouldn't say I would go with Chinese or anything like that. It's definitely just Asian, sort of Asian, and through India sort of as well. I don't know how it ended up completely. I think it's more Asian than anything. So if I skip to it in my build, yeah, more Asian than anything. I'm just looking at the final pictures, and I sort of came across that due to that bed. I didn't realise that the curtains on it actually had like pattern at the bottom, which I thought was kind of cool though. So that's what I based it off, my design, and then adding that red wall as the feature wall, which really sort of took on a world of its own then, and it was a lot of fun to do. And the little girl's room, that turned out super cute. I really love how that turned out in the end. Like when I put this in together here and then leave it, you sort of kind of go, huh? Because it just looks really unfinished, which it is. Because once I finally finish it, it looks really cool. Very happy with how it turned out in the end. And once again, this room came about by me finding a swatch in the tall boy dresser that had the little cherry blossom sort of thing across it. I was like, yes, that is going in a little girl's room, and so that's basically what I decided to design it off. And I love that turtle rug. I love turtles, so it's like so cool. It's going to be used a lot, I think. And now we're on to screenshots. So thanks guys for watching. I will leave you with some pretty music, I think, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads. And leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, tell me what you really liked about this build. Yeah, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching, guys.